What's up there, roulette players? What's going on? Welcome back to Casino Wars, where we test real strategies against 5 different bankrolls. The first one up, we are going to be doing a $10,000 bankroll, and his goal is going to be to make $500. That's 5%, and he'll lock himself in at 1% or probably more, just depending on how it goes. He's not gonna let himself lose. After he gets to his 500, he's not gonna let himself lose more than the average bet. All right, so he's got to get over 600 to get there. So let's place the bets. He's gonna bet and he's gonna spin. All right, let's see what the first spin is. It's an 8. That is a win. That's $100 win. So he's gonna rebet and he's gonna spin. So see if he could get to 500. That's a 5 red. That's another win. All right, and then rebet and spin. He's at $200. That's a 14 red. That is a loss. So what he does is he's going to rebet. He's going to double 3 times and spin. This will win him $800 if he wins. It's a 10. It's a win. So he got $800. So I think he's at his 500 now. So now he's going to go back to base. He'll go back to base at 1,500. Right? 500 and 500 is 1,000. Let's just start over. I think I got too much. I did. That was way too much. All right, so 100, 200, 100, 200. It should have been 500. All right, and he's going to go ahead and spin. If he wins this one, he'll be in profit and he won't be losing any money. That's a 32 red. That is a win. So now he's just going to play until he loses. Rebet and spin. You can walk away if you want and just take the 600, but he's going to play until he loses. That's an 11. That's another win. So far, he's definitely going home with $200. That's a 29. That's another win. So that's another 100. Rebet and spin. So he's definitely going home with 300, even if he loses at this point. That's a 21 red. That is a loss, I believe. No, it's a win. So that's another win. So that's another win under his belt. So he's going to rebet and he's going to spin. And let's see. Let's see if he can get $500. All right, that's a 27 red. That is a win. That's a $100 win. That takes him up to $1,000. And if he loses at this point, he'll still walk away with $500. So he's just going to continue to play the minimum bet. That's a 19 red. That's another win. So he's going to rebet and spin. All right, he's up 600 now. Now he's going to be definitely going home with 600, and that's a 13. That is the loss that he was looking for. Not that he was looking for it, but okay. So he went home with $600. That was more than his 5% profit. All right, so he made his bonus. He made it. Okay, let's move on to the next player. The next player will be using $25 units, and he will have an $8,000 bankroll. So let's go ahead and place the bets. He's betting 50 here, 50 here, and 25 there. Not there, but there. And he's going to go ahead and spin. That's a 26 black. That's a $25 win. He is going for $400. So he's going to rebet and spin. That's a 17 black. That's another win. It's another $25 win. So he's going to rebet and spin. That's a 4 black. That's another win. So he's going to rebet and he's going to spin. He's up 75. That's a 3. That's another win. Now he's up 100. Rebet and spin. One more and he'll be safe for a little bit. 12. That is another win. All right, so there you go. And now he's safe. If he loses, let's not jinx it. But if he loses, he won't lose anything. That's a 10 though. That's a win. So he's got 150 now. He's going to rebet and spin. That's a 24 black. That's a loss. All right, so what he's going to do is he's going to rebet. He's going to triple. And spin. That's a 17 black. That's a win for 200, I believe. Yep. So now he's going to go back to base. 50, 50, and 25, and spin. He's up 225. He's just looking to get to 400. That's a 20 black. That's another win. He's at 250 now. Rebet and spin. That's a 13 black. That's a loss. All right, so what he's going to do is he's going to rebet. He's going to triple his bet and spin. That's a 15 black. That's a loss. All right. So he's got to go ahead and rebet, and he's got to triple his bet again. And he's got an $8,000 bankroll. This will clean him out if he doesn't win. That's a 33 black. That is a win. All right, that's a $1,600 win. So he's going to rebet, and he's going to go back to base. Now, he did go over his bankroll, actually, so in reality, that would have been a mistake, but I guess he went to his friend and he borrowed some money. All right, so now he's just going to play minimum bet until he loses. That's a 33. That's another win. All right, so he's going to rebet. Oops, sorry. That was supposed to be 50 there, 50 there, and 25 there. It's supposed to be 125. I don't know where I came up with that, but that's okay. 800. So now he got a 31. That's another win. So he's going to rebet and spin. 825 now. That's a 35 black. All right, that is a $25 win. So he's going to rebet and spin. He's at 850 now. That's a 4 black. That's another win. So he's going to rebet and spin. That's a 0. That's his loss that he was looking for. Not looking for it, but he got it. All right. So he went home with $750, though he did go over his bankroll a little bit. He went over $875. So he had to borrow $875 from a friend to make that bet work. All right, and let's go to the next player. I'll try to watch that from now on. Try not to go over. Okay, the next player will be using $10 units, and his bankroll is $6,000, and he will be betting with $10. and his goal is $300. So, or I'm sorry, yeah, $300 is his goal. That's 25% of 5%. We're playing extra safe today. We're not going for that 25% goal. We're going to go for the 5% goal instead. I've decided to change it up a little bit. So, with that being said, we're going to put 10 there, 10 there, another 10 there, and another 10 there. Sorry, 20. And then, whoops. Okay, good. I didn't clear. All right, so that's a total bet of $50. So let's go ahead and spin. He's only looking to make 300. And that's a 0 right off the bat. All right, so what he's going to do is he's going to rebet. He's going to double. Then he's going to double again. And then he's going to double a third time. And spin. So $400 bet now. That's a 34 red. That's a win. That's an $80 win. So we're going to rebet. And he's going to come back to base. And spin. All right, he's $30 ahead now. That's a 7 red. All right, that is another win. So we're going to rebet and spin. That's a 23 red. All right, that's a loss. So we're going to rebet. We're going to double 3 times. And spin. That's a 24 black. That's another loss. So he's going to rebet. And he's going to... How much is he under? He's under 410. So he's only got 1,590 left. So that's about all he can do. And he borrowed $10 from a friend. So let's go ahead and spin. That's a 2 black. That's a win. All right, that's a $320 win. But he's not in base profit. So we're going to go like this. We're going to double and spin. That's a 4 black. All right, that's a $640 win. So he's up $550 now. All right, he's got his base. All right, I think I messed up, but that's okay. He got his 300. Now he's just going to go with the minimum bets until he loses. All right, so he's going to go ahead and spin. That's a 15 black. That's a loss. That's it. He's going to go home, and he's going to go home with $500. So far, this system's working out very well for people. But you never know with roulette. All right, the reason why I changed to 5% because this is a riskier system than most systems. There's not a lot of coverage. There's less coverage than some systems, even though there is only 8 numbers that can whack you, but it's it's high risk because the amount on the table is a lot of money. So that is why I went with the only 5%. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to place the next guy's bets, and he's going to be using $5 units, and he's got a $4,000 bankroll. He's only trying to make 200. So let's go ahead and place them bets. He will be winning $5 at a time. So it'll take a long time to get up to 200. That's a 14 red though. That is a first one is a loss. So we're going to rebet. We're going to triple it and spin. All right. Should be a $40 win. It is a $40 win. So that should be back in base, so back in profit. So he's going to rebet. No, he's going to let's place the bets again. It's easier to do it that way. And spin. All right, he's up 15, looking to get to 200. That's a 20. That is a win. That's in that little area that makes this system great. All right, and spin. All right, and let's go for another win. That's a 17. That's another win. So we're up 25 now, trying to go to 200. So we're going to rebet and spin. Whoops. And spin. All right, let's go ahead and spin this off. And 21 red. That's a loss, I believe. No, that's a win. Okay, we'll take it. Rebet and spin. That was in that sweet spot. All right, that's a 30. That's a 12. That's a win. We're up 35 now. Rebet and spin. Just looking to get to 200. All right, that's an 18 red. That is in the sweet spot. Okay, rebet and spin. All right, we're up 40. This takes a long time to get to this point. 18. All right, that is a $5 win. That's in the sweet spot again. Let's go ahead and reset, rebet, and spin. We're at 45. All right, that's a 14. That's a loss, though. All right, so that's outside the sweet spot. So what we're going to do is we're going to rebet, and we're going to punch this 3 times. All right, and spin. We're still up 20, but let's get this win. That's a 32 red. That's a $40 win, I think. So we're up 60. So we're going to rebet, and we're going to take off all the way down to 25 and spin. All right. We're up 60. That's a 15. That is another loss. So we're going to rebet, and we're going to triple. 1, 2, 3, and spin. All right, let's see if we can get this. This will be a nice $40 win. That's a $40 win. 75, I think we're up to now. Yeah, 75. So we're going to rebet. And we're going to take this all the way back to 25. And spin. That's a 33 black. All right, that's another win. So we're going to rebet and spin. That's a 36 red. All right, that's a $5 win. Rebet and spin. That's a 3 red. That's another win. So we're going to rebet and spin. With these lower amounts, it's harder to get to 5%. Maybe I should lower it down to like 4% or something. But that's a $25 loss, so we're going to rebet. We're going to hit this 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and spin. That's a 27 red. That's a win. All right, that's a $40 win, so we're going to rebet, and let's clear it out to 25. And spin. All right, let's go back to base. We got 105. We just need 17. That's another win. All right, we just need to get to 200. Rebet and spin. It's a lot of coverage, but the amount on the table is ridiculous. That's a 10 black. That is another win. Rebet and spin. It's a lot of coverage, but the amount on the table is a lot. That's a 14 red. That's a loss. So what we're going to do with the loss is we're going to rebet. We're going to hit this 3 times and spin. That's a 22 black. All right, that's another loss. So now where are we at? We're at minus 110. So we only got $3,890. So we're gonna rebet. Oh shoot! Dang it! All right, well now it. All right, so that's a 21 red. That's another loss. No, that's a win. All right, but we're gonna rebet, and we are going to 1, 2, 3. That's a shame because that would have been a win, and we're at 3,200. I think this is our last spin. That's a 36 though. That is a win. All right, so that's a $640 win. So we're up. We're way past the point, so we're gonna go back to base level, and we're gonna stay here until we lose. So we're just gonna keep playing until we lose. That's a 9. That's a win. Rebet and spin. Hopefully we can get to $25. 36, that's a win. One more win and we'll be taking home 600 definitely if we get this win. That's an 8. That is a win. So we definitely taking home 600. So we're going to rebet and spin. We're definitely taking home 600 at least. All right, that's a 13. That's a loss. Okay, so we got a loss. All right, so we did end up going home with 600. I might have jinxed it, but we did make our goal. So that's always a plus. Now our next player, okay, so our next player has a $2,000 bankroll. They got a higher bankroll, and they're looking to make $100, and they're going to be using dollar units. So let's go ahead and place the bets. And spin. They're only going to be winning $1 at a time. It's going to take 100 spins to make that goal. That's a 6, black, and that's a win. Rebet and spin. See if we can get 100 in a row. That's a 32 red. All right, that's another win. Rebet and spin. That's a 16 red. All right, that's another dollar win. Rebet and spin. That's a 12 red. That's another win. So we're going to rebet and spin. All right, we just get 100 spins in a row, we'll be all right. That's a win. That's a 1. That's a win. So we're going to rebet and spin. See if we can do 100 in a row without a loss. That's a 35 black. That's another win. Rebet and spin. That's 26 black. All right, that's another win. Rebet and spin. That's a 14 red. All right, that's a first loss. So we're going to rebet, and we're going to hit it 3 times to bring it up to $40. $40 for the spin and spin. That's a 13 black. That is a loss. Okay, so we're going to rebet. We're going to hit it 3 more times. Remember, we got a $2,000 bankroll. There's plenty of money in the bankroll. That's a 00 though. That's not good. All right, so we're going to rebet, and we're going to triple it. I don't think we have enough to triple it. What do we got? We got 640. Yeah, that'd be 12. I think we could go one more time. 1280. Yeah, 1280. We can go one last time. Let's hope to win. That is a 16 red. That's a win. Thank goodness. All right, that's a $256 win. That brings us to minus 102. So what we're going to do is we're going to rebet, and we are going to double one last time. No, we can't do that. All right, let's go all the way back to 5, and then we'll double 2 times again. See if we can get 2 wins in a row at that. Okay, so we got a triple. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we bring these up to 16. And bring this up to 1. We'll just bring this up to 40. All right, and let's double now. Double again. That's 2 doubles. All right, let's go ahead and spin. See what we get here. It's a 15 black. That's a loss. All right. Here we have 640. We have 1280. Yeah, we could do 1280. Let's go ahead and spin. That's a 10 black. That is a win. It is a $256 win. So where are we at? We're at minus 6. So let's try one more at that level and spin. Let's try one more at that level and hopefully we'll get a win. That's a 34. That is a win. So we should be over our goal. Okay, now we're over our goal. We're going back to $1. Back to the $5 bet. And now we're just going to play this until we lose. That's it. All right, that's a $1 win as we go. That's a 23 red. I believe that's a loss. We're done. All right, so we won $245. He had a $2,000 bankroll. He made his goal. All right, and that's it for that. All right, everyone made his goal. Just to recap, let's do this recap. So we have the $10,000 bankroll with $100 units, and his goal was $500, and he made $600. So he went $100 over his goal. The next player, he had an $8,000 bankroll. He was playing with $25 units, and his goal was to make $400, and he made $750. So he made a profit of $350 more than his goal. So that was great. The next player was a $6,000 bankroll. he was playing with $10 units, and he was going for a $300 profit, and he ended up with a $500 profit. So he got $200 over profit. Okay, and then the fourth player had a $4,000 bankroll. He was playing with $5 units, and he was going for $200, and he made $600. So he's the overall winner because he made $400. Actually, yeah, he's the overall winner. He made $400 over his 200, so he made 600. So 750, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 350. Yep. So he's the ultimate winner. All right, and then the last player, he had a $2,000 bankroll. He was playing with dollar units. He was just trying to get to $100, and he did manage to make $245. That was $145 over his goal. So that's the recap. And just don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss another roulette spin. Thank you guys, and you guys have a great rest of your evening, and have a happy Easter.